So, like, with all this AI changes happening, with alien files being released, it feels like humanity's progressing, or there's major changes happening. How do we keep moving forward with all this?
Ooh, that's a wonderful question, and I'll tell y'all something. Every month, new moon, full moon, I get a astrology report by this lovely, lovely woman, Stephanie Austin, and Stephanie is in Western Washington, one of my favorite areas of the world. She's up around Seattle or the Bay Area up there, and she's very scientific. And she said, she reminded me of something. You know how there's stuff that you know, but when somebody else says it, you're like, yeah, okay, thanks for the confirmation. Her take on this is quite valid. I'll see what y'all think about this. She says, over the past couple months, we have been slammed with all these big outer planets doing this dance together and separately. I think, and she's right. She said, y'all need calming. We need calm. Now, to me, it's our nervous system is so slammed with this. When I see folks on media losing their shit in public, screaming, yelling, it's the nervous system, right? It's the neurotransmitters, limbic system, amygdala. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, thank God. I couldn't do it. I'd rather yell at you and bury you in the backyard. I have no patience with that. But the people that do, that are good at this work, they say, yeah, it's the nervous system. So how do we calm our nervous system? I'll tell you something. In fact, Linda, you and I were just chatting about this, and I'll share my part of it. Oftentimes before our radio shows, we'll talk a little bit. How's your week? What's going on? Well, as y'all know, our Tom and my cat Sophia left her body last month, and she's still here. What keeps him here? Love, connection. Not all pets do that, but she's done it. Her work is still here. And I said, when I said to her, I was sitting in the chair and she was here. I said, the other morning, and I was just waking up, and your scratching on the carpet was very loud. I heard it. You know how cats scratch their claws? And I said, why am I not hearing you more, seeing you more, feeling you more? She said, you're trying to use your physical senses. Great, Zoli. Big fat, psychic researcher here. What do I say that all the time? But was I doing it with this? No. She gave me a different understanding. She said there's a gentleness with this. And it has to do with backing up, pulling out of something, going into quiet mind. Now, what the hell does that mean? I don't, what does it mean for you or anybody else? I don't like to throw stuff out there and not at least explain what I understand it is, because I had too much of that and I don't want that. So, what I think she's talking about and addressing, when we talk about this quiet inside, we know when we are in tune with things. We know that. And life is stressful over the past couple of months. We've all been going through huge upgrades. What does that mean? If you plug a lamp into a socket that's got too much electricity in it, bam, it'll blow. That's kind of what's happening with us. So for me, because when I look at the mirror, I see me, not you, all I know how to do take care of my body. I've started doing yoga again. Why did I stop? There's a lot of reasons. You don't need to know any of them. It's too embarrassing. I'm starting to stretch more. I'm taking the time. I don't care if it's 5 minutes. That's helping me. I'm watching my diet, my exercise, my peace of mind, and I'm limiting my unquality time with other people. Now, there's a hard one. That's hard because that involves our nervous system. We all have people in our life, and at times we've been this person to other people who are just irritating and don't have their act together. And it's draining. I'm not talking about kids, teenagers. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what? The social connection. I read the other day a good statement for me of why people come and go out of my life. This statement said that friendships have seasons, and you will go through the seasons because not everything is the same all the time. People will come and go out of your life and you theirs. So look at what's happening with and I'm going to address the nervous system for us. It doesn't know where to go. There's too much external input. So we have the responsibility in some way where for me personally, I have to be sure I drink enough water every day. For me, I was told, Zoli, take whatever your body weight is, and you don't get to know that. Divide it in half, drink that many ounces of water a day. So, being an old Southern woman, I use those big old quart fruit jars, right? We used to drink iced tea out of them. It's just what it is. Everybody drank out of fruit jars. So, I got 2 fruit jars a day, and I'll drink 1.5 or closer to 2, whatever. I don't want y'all do an addition, figure out what I weigh. But anyway, you get the picture. So, that helps me. And it helps me to limit my exposure to folks that I really can't add to their life except to listen to them complain. Now, I'm glad to listen to anybody complain as well as my friends are with me. If I'm working on a solution and not venting and whining, there's a difference. So when we do that, what is the stress? It's our nervous system. It's like a little kid with too much sugar or not enough. What do you think of that, Linda?
I think you hit the nail on the head when you talked about how we need calm, and that is so accurate. We really don't notice all the time how riled up we get about everything going on in our lives. When you shared about Sophia reminding you to seek your inner senses, when we were talking earlier, you mentioned commented about how you have to quit trying, and all you're talking about calming yourself and relaxing goes towards that quit trying, where we really do try too hard. We have to know everything. We have to get everything done. We have to make sure we're aware of what's on the news. We have to answer every notification on our phone. And we have to be in tune with our spiritual world and get all the messages. But really, what you said was to step back and just wait.
Everything you said is true, and we were born into this life agreeing to do that crap. Every darn bit of it. It's called This Is How the World Is. Think comically, think about a lifetime that you might have had in the 1300s. You're trying to go to sleep, and you've got 3 other people sleeping in the bed with you. You probably don't even know them. That's how it was. People did biphasic sleeping. And people would come to inns and you'd stay, not much happened or it did, but you're worrying about getting your goats to the market. You are so stressed you can't even sleep. It doesn't matter what the situation is, it's what we do with it. And every life, there are basically, for the Western world, maybe there's not enough real stress, so we make stuff up. I thought the other day, having too much or having an easy life, rather, makes things difficult. Because Tom and I joke, first world problem. My phone's not working right, first world problem. So it's not the situation as much as putting it in perspective. And when I was just waking up, I was in that my brain, my neurotransmitters weren't in the wake mode, so to speak. I was probably still alpha-ing. I don't know. I'm not a neurologist. But I wasn't trying. I wasn't using my physical senses. Now, that said, you want to use your physical senses. Most of the time, you do. But I am trying to learn the art of doing both at once. And I don't mean together like they're together all the time, but okay, I'm hearing this or that, so what do I feel about it? And to me, my inner senses are my feelings.
Yeah, and the connecting those feelings to what's spiritually happening, or the ways to calm down. Sometimes we stop ourselves from doing it, or we don't have the tools to do so.
Yeah, and when I was when I was growing up, my magnificent mother, nothing made me angrier than her telling me to calm down. Oh my God. What do you mean calm down? My hair looks like crap and I've got a date in an hour. I'm 16 and this is the most important thing. I can't calm down. So it's ridiculous and it's silly, but most of the time that's what we do. It's our personal world is so important. Now, your personal world needs to be important. But I keep going back to, I watch these videos over and over, wondering what people are doing. What is that point that you decide to lose control of your body, your words? What happens with us? It's clearly neurological. This is neurotransmitters. So there is a lot of research, and the Dalai Lama and his people are doing a lot of research on consciousness. They have been for quite a few years, making amazing inroads. The Monroe Institute, there are a lot of places out there. And maybe if it's right for you, you can check on some of these places or techniques and see what the binaural beats are very calming. You wear headphones and you listen to certain music or meditation. The Monroe Institute has free ones. And there are different sounds going into ear, each ear, and they say it balances out your brain. For all I know, it might make you batshit crazy. I don't know, but it works for me when I do what? When I actually remember to do it. Ow. So this rushing around, that is how the modern world is. Kind of everybody does it, so to speak. You know, that's an affect of life at that time and space.
Right. So how can we, um, I guess, find a happy medium with all these changes that are happening? How can we progress forward while also managing to calm our nervous system?
Wow. You know, for me, it's two steps forward and one back. I think, and I've found in my life that, of course, there are seasons and there are phases, and you will go through a really, really difficult time. And then what happens? It calms down. During the calm down time, you are assessing, your body's getting used to it, you're getting ready for the next surge, so to speak. So I think one of the best ways that I found is to be aware that these are cycles and this too shall pass. I don't know how that's an aphorism almost to say. But to me, to be aware that this isn't just about me. This is a global phenomenon. And guess what? Things don't get easier. They get harder. Why? Because we get better at handling those things. I bet you, if you think about it, that you can handle stuff now that a while back would have thrown you off the edge of a cliff. But you can see your progress and give yourself a break. We say in Zoli art, be your beloved. Give yourself a break. That inner child, that little person that lives around your third chakra area, wants you to be his protector. And you are their protector. But by doing that, but by self nurturing, grief comes up and we don't like it. We've sanitized that. We shouldn't have to go through that. I think I have found that all during the day, I recognize some grieving periods when I had to let quite a few people go out of my life because I was really different. I was really sure of my value system at that time. And those folks, they had different value systems. Were they bad or wrong? No. So I had to grieve that. But now on a daily basis, I have to grieve that I can't get X, Y, and Z. I can't do something. And it's maybe just a tiny little thing. You can't reach somebody on the phone, you really want to talk to them. I mean, that's a social thing. You see what I'm saying? You can't get your dogs or your kids to do this or that. Well, when we have to pull back and control ourselves, that's a grieving process. And it's very acute, and those don't last for long. But I would suggest that we look at the cycles to say, this too shall pass. There by the grace of God go I.